All right, let's talk about something that's basically musical magic. We are about to crack the secret code on what makes a song an absolute banger. A track that you just can't help but move to, even if it's 60 years old.
I mean, really think about it for a sec. You hear a killer beat in a brand new hip hop track. You look it up, and it turns out it's from a song your grandparents danced to. How does that even work? How can a song stay that fresh for that long? Well, it's not actually magic. It's a formula.
And that formula, that secret recipe, it's soul music. It's like a cheat code for writing timeless hits that was perfected decades ago, but musicians are still using it right now. So today, we're going to break down exactly what goes into that recipe. Okay, so to understand the recipe, we have to go to the kitchen where it was cooked up. Motown Records in Detroit. The founder, Berry Gordy, didn't just want to make music. He wanted to build hits. He created a literal hit factory, and he was inspired by the city's car industry. He actually built his record label just like a car assembly line. Or think of it like developing a video game. First, you write the story, right? The main quest. Then you build the world, the mechanics. Next, you got to add in the main character. And finally, you polish and debug everything until it's an unforgettable experience. Every single step was carefully planned out to create a flawless final product. So who was actually building these tracks? Well, meet the Funk Brothers, Motown's secret weapon. Seriously, imagine the dev team that builds a huge game like Fortnite or Minecraft. They create the entire world, every sound, every little detail, but their names aren't on the box. That was the Funk Brothers. They were the anonymous geniuses behind the sound of an entire generation. Okay, so let's get into the code itself. The first layer, the absolute foundation of any great Motown track, is what we'll call the engine room, the bass and the drums. This is the part of the song that just physically makes you want to move. You see, the bass player, who was often the legend James Jamerson, didn't just play boring, simple notes. No way. He played these things called syncopated bass lines. The best way to think about it is it's like parkour. So instead of just walking in a straight line on the beat, the bass is doing all these cool, creative flips and jumps around the rhythm. It feels unpredictable, but it always lands perfectly, and it just gives the music this incredible energy. And then you've got the drums. Now, while a lot of rock music at the time was doing this, 1, 2, 3, 4, Motown drummers did something else. They put the snare drum hit on every single beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's called 4 on the floor. And it creates this super powerful, steady pulse that's almost hypnotic. It's like the rhythm in a dance game that is just impossible not to lock into. Okay, so we've got our engine running. Now it's time to add the style, the flair. Let's call them the power-ups that make the track really stand out. We're talking about the horns and the keyboards. These are like the special effects that add all the emotional color to the song. And the sound palette was really specific. You've got these short, punchy horn stabs that act like musical exclamation points, right? They emphasize all the big moments. Then there's the Hammond organ, which came straight out of gospel music, and it adds this warm, soulful glue that just holds everything together. And finally, pianos and electric keys would drop in those rhythmic chords and those really cool bell-like melodies over the top. So we have the beat and we have the power-ups. Now we need the main character, the hero who's going to lead the mission. And in soul music, that's the vocals. But, a main character is nothing without their squad, and that's where the backing singers come in. The lead singers were basically vocal athletes. They mastered techniques like melisma, which is pretty much a vocal combo move, where a singer hits a whole bunch of different notes on just one syllable of a word. It's that incredible, passionate sound you hear, and it came directly from singers who learned how to do it in church choirs. They also work together as this perfect team using a technique called call and response. Think of it just like a group chat. The lead singer drops a line, that's the call, and then boom, the backing singers immediately jump in with a reply to hype it up. That's the response. It creates this amazing energy, and it just makes the chorus feel huge. So you put all those pieces together, you got the engine room beat, you got the power-up instruments, and you got the vocal squad. The result? A perfect formula. And that is the reason why this music, 60 years later, still absolutely slaps. And for real, this sound never went away. In the 80s, pop stars were borrowing the beats. In the 2000s, hip-hop producers started directly sampling the old tracks. And today, artists are still using that same secret recipe to get you dancing, whether they even know it or not. So, if there's one thing you should take away from this, it's this. The reason these songs feel so timeless is because they were built with the perfect formula. They combine a rhythm that forces you to move, layers of sound that fill you up with emotion, and vocals that tell a story with pure passion. It's the blueprint for a perfect pop song. Now that you know the code, I promise you're going to start hearing it everywhere. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. What artist that you listen to right now do you think has that Motown soul? Think about it. The answer might surprise you.